So what types of stress are there? Well, there's effectively three. The first is acute. Acute stress is short-lived and intense. It's spontaneous. It's point in time. Right here, right now, I've just experienced this. I'm jogging along. I look down. I see what I think is a snake, and it freaks me out for a moment. Then I realize it's just a bent twig from a tree, and I'm okay. That's an example of acute stress. It impacts the central nervous system, which is your brain and your spinal cord. So that's going to affect a lot of things happening throughout the rest of your body. An example is you're pulled over by the police. Have you ever been pulled over? Think for a moment. What physiological changes have you experienced? Maybe your respiratory rate picked up. Maybe your blood pressure elevated. Got a little clammy skin. Maybe even started sweating. Felt nauseous. Got a headache. These are things people report experiencing when they're pulled over by the police. Well, that's another form of acute stress. And when it affects the central nervous system, those are the kinds of symptoms that people have. And it's called acute because it's point in time, and it goes away as soon as the stress source goes away. So when you realize that was a twig and not a snake, when the police officer finally hands you his ticket and you move on about your day, sure, you worry about it a little bit, you think about it some more, but that initial stress response has gone away. The next type is called chronic. This is the one we really want to pay attention to, because it goes on and on. Any stress that's 20 minutes in length or longer is considered chronic. It's ongoing and can be long-lasting for hours, days, weeks, months, or even years. Think about things like financial problems, divorce, loss of a loved one, problems at work, unemployment, etc. These are things that would cause chronic stress, and that impacts the endocrine system, which is our hormones. There are about 120 hormones in the human body. They all serve a very specific purpose. One regulates breathing, one regulates sleep, one regulates satiability, meaning how full or empty our stomach feels. There's oxytocin, the hugging hormone. There's the endorphins, the happy hormones. And of course, testosterone, estrogen are the sexual hormones. We have all of these hormones in the body, and when we're under chronic stress, they can get thrown out of balance. And that's when you start having problems. Well, I can't seem to get enough sleep, or I'm eating when I don't want to eat. I have no sex drive. I can't be productive. I just don't have the energy at work, etc. You'll see why in just a moment those things happen. We have to manage it, or it'll take years off of our lives, and there are some examples of chronic stress. How many of these might you have dealt with in your life, or may you even be dealing with right now? So again, that's not necessarily a bad prognosis. It just means manage it and you'll be okay. You can manage every one of the things you see on this screen that could be causing you stress. Now, my question for you is, just to bring a little levity into our time together, is that acute stress right there or chronic stress? Well, you know, that diver is going to climb up that rope ladder, and if you said both, you're correct. It's acute and it's in terms of it's happening right now, isn't it? And it's going to be over in a matter of seconds, because he's either going to make it up that ladder or he's going to be an appetizer for that shark's lunch, right? But it's also going to last more than 20 minutes, isn't it? Because he's not going to get over that in less than 20 minutes. So it's really both, okay? But that's really there for fun. Here's the third type of stress. It's called eustress. And I like to tell people to think of it as the word use, U-S-E. Use stress, because this stress is a positive form of stress, and you want to use it to help you manage your stress. So use it as a form of use stress. It helps us focus and perform better. And take the Super Bowl. You think those guys in the locker room before the game might have some butterflies in their stomach? Sure. That's eustress in action. Think of a famous singer, Barbra Streisand, is known for having said that before a performance, she throws up in the bathroom. Form of eustress. It helps us focus and perform better, and that way we can turn distress, that's the harmful kind of stress, into eustress. And these are examples. Exercise is a form of eustress. It stresses the body, but in a very positive way. Participation in sports, a live performance like I mentioned, Barbra Streisand. Marriage ceremony, people get nervous, but that's a good kind of stress, at least hopefully, right? Meaningful goals and having rewarding work in your life. If you're blessed as I have been, to be able to have a career that you look forward to getting up and going to every day, then you never really work another day in your life, because everything you do is a labor of love. I wish that for each of you watching, because that will really help you manage stress through the use of Eustress.